Alright, my first repair video I'm gonna do. Got the tool bags in here, or attempt to do, I should say. So I've been doing some research trying to figure out how to fix this. And I've only seen one guy on YouTube, and he ordered a custom metal plate that did the circumference of this. Because I guess when they built this, they just screwed it together right here. It's like pinched together. So originally I was just gonna caulk it from the outside. So you can see here there's daylight, and when it's raining and I'm driving, it's constantly hitting me in the face. Hold on. Okay. So it's constantly hitting me in the face. And luckily I found that one guy, because turns out he was right. There's a screw. You can't see it, dang it. But there's a screw right in there. And you can see if I can show you. You could pinch these back together. So we're gonna see what we can do. I'm gonna tear this trim off and see if I could peel this back enough. I don't know what that is. We'll see how to get that off. But yeah, it's not really glued to it. So I don't know, I might change that in the future. Just cut it right here maybe. I don't know, or just leave it as is. We'll see. Let me tear into it. Hopefully I don't have to take any of that apart. I'm really hoping I don't. I can just pull it back. So let me tear into that and see what we can do. Alright, well I got that trim pulled off, and it's just stapled on. Pretty simple. And these are just put on with trim nails, so it's pretty easy to pop off. Anybody can do it. I just used my flat bar, and I got underneath it, and I pried all the way down, which I'm probably gonna do the same for the staples here. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm probably just gonna do the same here, maybe, or it's not looking like that's gonna work, so I'll probably just end up pulling the staples themselves, I think. I don't know, we'll see. Let me give that a shot and see what works. Okay, it looks like this just pries off, and there's a Phillips right behind it. And then I tried pulling the staple. Some of them did come out, some of them won't, but they stapled the living crap out of it, which is good. I'm not complaining about that, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to go through and tear off all the staples and then pick them out when I'm ready to reinstall it. So that's where I'm at now. I'm gonna continue all the way around, and I'll get back to you. Okay, I just pulled that Phillips screw. It's kind of long, but I didn't realize that I guess I should have, that they stapled behind it. So if you have the same thing I got, just remember that they stapled behind it, and you're gonna have to pull those staples as well. Alright, I got it all pulled apart. I decided to take these side panels off just to make it a little easier putting it back together when I'm stapling everything. And it gave me a chance to inspect the wood. And as you can see, it's been leaking right here. So it's got some water damage. It's still solid wood, so it's fixable before it gets too bad. But you can tell that this thing has been in bad shape for a long time. I mean, you can see I don't know if that's mold or just dirt grime or what, but yeah, look at that. And you can just see right outside so easily. Look at all that water just coming in. See, and look at all these screws. They're all backed out. So we're definitely fixing all that. I mean, they used they use tiny heads on their screws, and I think we're gonna go with something that's more of a pan head, so it actually grabs on a lot better. I mean, luckily I got aluminum there. Most people might have wood. I'm not sure if they all did aluminum or not, but I think I'm gonna clean this out. Go grab my vacuum and try to clean this out, and see if I got any pan heads, and maybe even squirt some silicone in there after I clean it out, and then put some new screws in. And I'm gonna put, I don't know, maybe twice as many screws as they put in. I mean, you could, for how bad a shape that is, I'm sure everybody else is just the same. I mean, absolutely horrible. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't too hard getting in here. It was actually pretty easy. The most painful part was just taking apart all the screws. They did put some kind of glue on the foam, which was fairly easy. I just used where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, I just used my flat bar and slowly worked it down like that, so that way I didn't rip the foam too bad. But also, they didn't put the foam very far in. It was sitting like that, and I would have imagined that they would have had the foam going all the way here. So I don't know, I might look into that. Maybe get some more of this stuff. It's not very thick. Maybe get some thicker stuff, I don't know yet. And put it up in there before I put it back together. Maybe take a hammer or that to bend it around a little bit better. But yeah, they didn't do the best job on these. That's probably, I don't know, every time I was driving I kept hearing a noise. Oh, could have been my front bumper, because someone just has like 2 zip ties on it. So yeah, let me get to cleaning this up and see if I got the right screws. If not, I gotta run to town and we'll go from there. But honestly, it's a pretty easy fix. Not too bad. I wish they would have went with a bigger head screw instead of these tiny head screws, because obviously they just pulled right out of the aluminum. So maybe something with a more coarse thread. I mean, they look fairly coarse. I'm not sure what happened there. I mean, they're not, I don't know. Let me mess with it a little bit and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, quick little update. I got most of that as clean as I can. It's not the easiest to clean. But what I was doing is I was just sticking my pry bar in there and then scraping it out towards me like that. And then you get a little bit of what the heck is that stuff called? I can't remember now off the top of my head for some reason. But I decided to fill that all in with foam. I just did it, so it's still setting up. But I figured why not? It was a big gap, and it can be fixed. You know, add a little insulation and sound deadening. I mean, I thought about doing that, and you know, doing that and all that, but I got wires running there, and I mean, I probably could have done it because I'm pretty sure the wires is just for this light. But I figured I'd leave it in case I want to run a backup camera. You know, the reverse, the one that looks like that for only a backup camera. So that's what I've done so far. I cleaned up as much as I can. I pulled all the staples, so that way I'm ready to go back in. I was thinking about maybe going to get some screws to screw this back together, but I'm almost thinking maybe rivets would be my best option. So I'm gonna go see if I got rivets big enough for this, and if I do, I think that'll be a good option. I mean, the screws that they used, let's see, I got one over here. These screws they're not too bad, but a couple of them I pulled out were all broken. So obviously screws aren't the best option for that if there's a lot of movement there. So I think rivets would be best, because I was going to replace it with screws until I seen a couple broken ones. And if anybody knows, screws are meant for anchoring stuff together without any movement. And I mean, if you ever built a deck and you use screws and then you have to go back and replace it, that's because screws are meant for anchoring and not for any kind of movement. And nails are meant for, you know, any kind of movement. You know, they bend a little bit without breaking. So I think rivets might be the best option, since, you know, on enclosed trailers they use rivets. They use rivets on boats. I mean, I think that'll be the best option in this scenario. So that way I won't ever have to come back and fix any broken screws again. But also I'm going to throw in some Gorilla caulking in here before I end up doing that. But I'm gonna see if I got any. I'm gonna use this hole as a test to see if that's a good idea or not. So I'll get back to you while I let this set up so I can trim it a little bit. Alright, I had to run to town to get some stuff because apparently I had rivets. I had this bag right here, which is 1/8 inch. They're aluminum, but they weren't long enough. They were only at 1/8 inch. So while I was in town, I decided to get a 3/16 steel, and they're 1/4 inch, so it should work much better. I also got a drill bit because I wasn't sure if I had one. It's a 13/16, so it's slightly bigger than 13/64, so it's slightly bigger than 13/16. So that should hold much better. I don't know if I have enough, we'll see. Then I couldn't find this exact foam anywhere. So at Walmart I seen this stuff, Project Foam I guess is what it's called, and it's 1 inch thick. So hopefully that'll do better to fill in all this stuff. I mean, it won't do much, but hopefully it would add, I don't know, a little bit better insulation, I guess. We'll see. But oh, I forgot to grab my caulking. But yeah, I'm gonna see if those rivets work better. Of course, I got a fancy rivet gun because I do roofing. But you could also use a hand one, just takes a little more effort. So hopefully that'll work out much better. Let me see if this foam is set up yet first. Yeah, almost. Almost. It might be cuttable. I might be able to cut some more, which I guess I don't really have to cut it because it just sits up like that. It doesn't even glue to it. Yeah, I could probably do that. Just leave it. Maybe trim a little bit off at least. But yeah, we're gonna see if that works. I mean, I tried one of my 1/8 inch rivets and it didn't do nothing. It didn't hold at all. So I'm gonna have to drill that out. But yeah, that's the quick update. I'm gonna go grab my caulk and then fill this gap in before I start. Or maybe I'll drill it out so that way I don't have any metal bits sticking in the caulking. But that's where I'm at so far. I don't know, I probably spent maybe 50 bucks on everything to get this done. So that's not bad for a pretty simple fix. Hopefully it does a lot better job than those screws did. So let me deal with what I got right now, and I'll bring you back when I accomplish something. In case you're wondering what caulking I'm using, I'm just using Gorilla Glue Gorilla Heavy Duty Construction Adhesive. It's waterproof, paintable, and it sticks to many surfaces, so hopefully this will help out with the structural integrity after the rivets are in. So I'm gonna start applying that in there and then clamp it together and start drilling my holes for the rivets. Okay, I'm about halfway done. One thing I need to tell you is it is a bit messy if you put in a lot of caulking, because it's going to obviously squirt out like that. I just keep on wiping it as I go. But I think this is going to do really well. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep rags on hand for when you start squishing it together. It's going to start squishing out. But that's what it looks like so far. I think it's going to do really well. Of course, I'm going to be about 3 short on each end, which is fine. I'll just put screws in right there. The main parts are in the corners. Those are the parts that need to really hold. So just keep that in mind if you're doing it yourself. It's going to get messy. I probably used, I don't know, probably 10 rags so far. So just keep that in mind. Alright, I'm all done doing the rivets. Like I said, I was a couple short, so I just reused the screws, which, there you go. It's much better. No wind coming in. I doubt there'll be any rain coming in. Of course, I'm going to go on the outside and seal it from the outside with silicone just in case. And that's what it looks like. Nice and beautiful and sealed. This one turned out much better. This one still has a slight gap, but that's about as tight as I can get it. I'm assuming there's no metal right there. It's just the rubber or plastic, whatever that is. But I got it as good as I can. So now I'm gonna start putting it back together, get my extra foam in there, and then get her buttoned up, and I'll give you a shot after it's done. Alright, just finished putting it all back together. I used most of the foam out of that roll. I actually ended up double layering it just to get a little, see how solid it is now. And in the beginning of the video there was like all play, but now it's pretty solid. Oops. Now it's pretty solid. I'm a lot more happier with it. Better insulation, and it turned out pretty good. I mean, you can't really tell the difference. It's almost like I was never in there. Can't remember if those 2 wrinkles were already in there, but whatever. Of course, there's nothing I can do about the rip that was already in there, but I kind of like it there. It's like a nice little inspection, so I can keep an eye on the rivets, make sure they're doing their job and not breaking. So yeah, pretty easy job. Since I put extra layers of the foam in there, it did make the, I tried stretching it as much as possible, but as you can see, it got a little short, and my staples are right on the edge, or as close to the edge as I can. I mean, you can see the line of where the trim used to be. It was right there, which is, I mean, not a big deal. I could always add thicker trim in here. Not really too worried about that. I'd rather have better insulation than curb appeal. Obviously over here is a little worse, but that's all right. I think it turned out really good. No winds coming in at all. It actually feels much better up here, even though I did just a little bit of insulation. But yeah, pretty easy job. Just, I mean, it maybe took me, I don't know, 3-4 hours roughly. But that's with me having to drill it all out bigger so I could put 3/16 rivets in. And I had to drive all the way to town, which from my house it's about roughly 20 minutes plus shopping. So that was probably a good hour and a half I wasted there. So maybe about a 3-hour job. Well, that's how you fix the cab over to, I don't know what you'd call that. The cab over mount, I'm assuming is what they call it. I don't know. I'll have to think of what to call it in the description. But yeah, fairly easy. I think it was much better. So I'll have to keep an eye on it as time goes on. As you guys know, I off-road this quite a bit, so we'll see if that holds better. That's another reason why I went with steel. I went with steel rivets instead of aluminum, because I figured the aluminum would bend and possibly break. I don't know. I also went bigger, 3/16 compared to 1/8 inch. But yeah, roughly a $50 fix. Not bad. Here's all the tools I used. Used a clamp, screw gun, staple, slapper tacker. Kind of used a hammer, rivet gun, in the vacuum, and that foam. I took the old foam out because it was kind of nasty, and this stuff is way thicker than that anyways, so yeah. Oh, and this caulking. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Good luck, guys.